So let's start our journey in the software domain by addressing what exactly is Arduino IDE. As you guys might be remembering, I had mentioned about Arduino in our previous module on basic hardware. Arduino is the company which makes different microcontrollers like Arduino Uno, Arduino Nano, Arduino Mega, Arduino MKR0, and so on and so forth. The same company has also made this particular IDE. Now, what exactly do we mean by IDE? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. An integrated development environment is a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. An IDE normally consists of at least a source code editor, build automation tools, and a debugger. So, what exactly does the user need to do? The user or the programmer using the IDE has to just write the particular program that he or she wants to execute. After completely writing the particular program, the user needs to compile it and then run it. If there are no errors in the code, then the IDE will completely compile the code and upload the code onto the microcontroller to do the necessary function. So this is the basic of what exactly is an IDE. Now let's zone in on what is Arduino IDE. Arduino IDE, Arduino Integrated Development Environment, is an open source software used mainly for writing and compiling the code into the Arduino module. So basically, the functionality of any IDE is the same. But what is so special about Arduino IDE? That it is very much focused on the Arduino modules. But it is not restricted to the Arduino modules. We'll talk about it in the upcoming slides. It is an official Arduino software that makes the code compilation easy, then even a person with no prior technical knowledge can learn the process. This IDE is easily available for operating systems like Mac, Windows, Linux, and runs on the Java platform as well. So it is quite ubiquitous. Arduino IDE can be used to code various modules of Arduino, like I mentioned. IDE consists of two basic parts, editor and a compiler, where the required code is written on the editor and the compiler is used for compiling and uploading the code into that given Arduino module. Arduino IDE supports both C and C++ languages. All the functions that have been written in the Arduino IDE are derived from C and C++. And you don't need to have any previous knowledge on these two languages. If you have, well and good. If not, you don't need to worry. We'll talk you through the entire coding process. Now, let's look into what do we mean by the sketch of an Arduino IDE. Before looking at the sketch of an Arduino IDE, I'll just like to tell you what exactly is a sketch. Sketch is nothing but it is an alternative term used by Arduino for the word program. So it is nothing but the long code that you write in order to execute something. So Arduino Sketch is another name used by Arduino for a program. Sketch is basically a unit of code that is uploaded and run on an Arduino board. An Arduino sketch consists of two functions, setup function and the loop function. To open a new sketch in Arduino IDE, click on the File tab, then click on New to open a new sketch. This new sketch already consists of those two functions that I mentioned above, that is, setup and loop. Now, what is the setup function? As the name itself suggests, setup function is used in order to set up the program. To set up the program means in order to declare all those variables, in order to declare all those basics which are required for the successful functioning of the entire code. Now, setup is a function which is executed only once in the Arduino. Once the setup is done, then the compiler moves on to the loop function and then executes the code which is written in the loop. So it's like setting up your basics in the setup function and then moving on to the loop function. Statements in the setup functions are executed only once when the sketch is run. What is a loop function? Now here, a loop function is the function where all the fun takes place. This function is basically carrying out all your activities in order to get some output. Now, it does not mean that the setup function is not important. Setup function is equally important because if you do not set up the basics, if you do not tell the computer what all do you need and what all you have to operate on, then it won't be able to operate on anything. So in setup, you basically tell the computer, tell the program, tell the hardware which is present in the computer that, okay, I need this. In the loop function, you use whatever you have set up in the previous setup function and then play around with it to get a particular output. Statements in the loop function run continuously from top to bottom. Pay attention to this, from top to bottom. So the first line you write will be executed first from top to bottom, unless you branch out to a function or any other subroutine. We'll talk about it. And then it goes back to the top. Why it goes back to the top? Because of the term loop. The term loop directly explains us that the code that has been written in that particular section will be run over and over again and again. It will be looped. Unlike the setup function, which is executed only once, the loop function is continuously executed. Statements in the main loop will be executed continuously until the Arduino is switched off or reset. So this is how the loop function will work.